Hey there, scholars. Mr. Tom here. I wanted to go over a few final thoughts and reminders for the AP exams. So let's go over that right now. And of course, you guys will have this Google slideshow open for you guys to look at until the tests. But I wanted to go over these things with you directly and personally. So let's go over these AP Lit and Comp final thoughts and reminders. So the night before the test, I would highly suggest, just from a physiological point of view, no coffee afternoon, because that can certainly keep you up. So I would say refrain from the high caffeinated stuff on Tuesday afternoon. Don't do any late night cramming, guys. It doesn't work. There's nothing else you guys can really be studying and working on now. You just want to make sure you know your key terms for this part of the test, which is the Holy Trinity, of course, which is diction, which leads you to imagery, which will then lead you to a metaphor or a symbol. And then, of course, you want to keep in mind characterization, personification, and setting. I think these would be the big terms to keep in mind, the big literary devices to keep in mind when you guys are doing the prose excerpt essay. Make sure you guys have a healthy dinner that's high in carbs and proteins the night before. I know some of you don't like fish, but fish is an excellent brain food, so you might want to keep that in mind. I would also highly recommend, according to all the studies, that you guys should turn off your phones and avoid screen time after 10 p.m. on Tuesday night. I would set out some comfy clothes for the test, avoid pajamas, and I'll talk more about this in a little bit. And make sure you guys have established your testing site. Decide if you guys are going to type or handwrite your essay ahead of time, and get your testing site set up wherever that may be. It might be the kitchen table. It might be a living room. It might be your bedroom. It might be your desk. Wherever it is, go ahead and get it all prepped the night before. Make sure everything is charged and ready to go. And if you have a backup device, if possible, I'd have that charged, ready to go, just in case. And then finally, I'd highly recommend you guys are in bed by about 10:30 to 11 o'clock. So that's everything I would recommend for the night before the test. When it comes to the morning of the test, I would recommend you guys wake up at a decent hour, not too late, not too early, but I'd recommend you guys do some light to moderate exercise. Take a shower. That'll help freshen you guys up, open your minds, open your pores, get everything rocking and ready to go. Do some breathing exercises, do some meditation. That would be a fantastic idea as well. Definitely have a solid breakfast with plenty of protein. Avoid the sugary foods and energy drinks. Probably not the best idea to wake up at 11:30 or 11:45 and shove a Pop-Tart in your face. I go all out. We've been working all year for this, so make sure you guys are really physically prepping yourself. Energize yourself with some coffee or some tea or your other favorite caffeinated drink, but again, not too much, and watch out for the really sugary stuff. That will bring you a crash or make you a little too jittery. Drink lots of water. Make sure you guys bring a water bottle in there with you, and dress comfy. But come ready to play and play hard. I wouldn't recommend, doing this in pajamas, doing this in slippers. That kind of sets a mental mood or tone that says, I'm not really taking this seriously. Be comfy, but come dressed ready to play. And then, of course, make sure you guys bring in some snacks with you guys as well. Now, from 11:30 to 11:45 on Wednesday, I think you guys, now this is normally something that I would have had all set up for you guys. I would have had a survival kit set up, but sadly I can't do it with all of the distancing restrictions. I just simply can't do it. I already got you guys a bracelet that we were all going to wear on the day of, but sadly I cannot get that to you as well, so I apologize. But you guys can make your own survival kit, and I think the most important things to put in there would be gum, peppermint. Both of those activate the brain. Have a snack bar, a granola bar, something like that. And of course, if you have peppermint gum, well, that's two birds with one stone. Again, make sure you guys are logging in around 11:30 to 11:45. Make sure you guys check out that video about the whole process and what that looks like and how that looks It's got a lot of good information in there. I'd set up your room and set up your area too. Set up your test site with some relaxing background music. And again, just background music, nothing that's going to distract you with too many lyrics and too many beats, but something in the background, something along the vein that I would normally play for you guys when you guys were taking the essays in my classroom. Make sure you guys are eating your snacks and stay hydrated. And let your family and friends know that you guys are not to be bothered from 12 to 1 p.m. That's going to be the big hour where you really need to be 100% focused and pouring everything into everything we've been preparing you guys to do during the test. Okay, so remember, this is going to be an excerpt of prose fiction from a novel or a play. So it's just going to be an excerpt. It's just going to be a piece. First and foremost, make sure you guys dissect the prompt. We've been talking about this all year long. Identify the key terms and concepts and quotes from the prompt that need to be integrated into your introduction. Remember also that the prompt is probably going to say something like, or asking you to analyze the complex relationship of something or the complex interplay between two things. Keep that in mind. Get that word complex in there and make sure you guys do go complex. Show juxtaposition. Show things that are being conflated together. Show that you guys are aware of that idea or that concept of complex interplay and relationships. Also, identify the date. As soon as you guys look at that prompt, if they give you a date, man, then that is definitely open season for some hints or some clues about themes or topic from certain literary movements. And if you haven't looked at it already, make sure you guys go back to that Kahoot that I posted on Friday about the literary genres and themes, and also check out that PowerPoint. That I think will just really give you guys a leg up that I think a lot of other AP scholars don't have. Next up, make sure you guys are reading and annotating carefully. It's probably going to take you about 2 reads for things to click or to make sense. Some of you guys, certain things will pop out the first read. That's perfect. That's fantastic. That's great. Some of you guys, it's going to take 2 reads. Maybe it'll take 3 reads, but go for it. Make sure you guys are doing it. And then after you've read it and you've annotated things that stand out to you, come up with a quick plan, a graphic organizer. Front load your so what into the intro. That I cannot tell you how important that is. Come up with what you think your big idea or elucidation that you think the author is trying to get across to the reader is. Don't forget also to get started, you've got your hook, thesis, and stuff. And so what? The big thing I would warn you guys about, don't spend too much time on a hook. Maybe a short, pithy hook, something pithy and poignant, and then move on to your thesis, move on to your so what. And also another great way to get started is keep in mind ATLDS, author, title, literary device. So what? The author of this piece is using this literary device or this and another literary device to get across what? To teach us what? Make sure you guys avoid summary. Keep your commentary at level 2 and 3. You can definitely run into the trap of, if we were doing the open essay where you were to choose your own piece, then you could definitely fall into the trap of summary because you feel like, oh, I've got to summarize this for my reader. You don't have to worry about that. Your reader is going to know the piece that you guys are analyzing. So stick with the level 2 and 3 commentary and analysis. You really don't need any level 1 or summary. The level 1 is just for you and your graphic organizer and for your plan. But level 2 and 3, that's for your reader. Remember to choose only 1 or 2 literary devices. That'll suffice. Don't go beyond 2. Sometimes 1 will be enough, but I would never go over 2 unless it just seems so obvious and so perfect. Then, of course, go for it. Go with your instincts. And remember, after your introduction, 1 to 2 paragraphs of commentary is probably going to be just fine. We've talked about this all year long. Keep your quotes pithy. Make sure you guys are integrating them. Use your ellipses, use your brackets. This is just a mental trick, but keep in mind too that numerous paragraph breaks are preferred to big, huge chunks. So keep that in mind. And also, if you guys are, especially if you guys choose to type instead of handwrite, you guys get to check your spelling, get to check your grammar, whether you're using Google Docs or you guys are using Word. You guys have that luxury. Do it. It'll set you at ease. You get to polish your piece. But don't spend too much time on the editing. Remember, they're more judging you on your quality of ideas and analysis and commentary and so what, rather than your grammar, spelling, punctuation, usage, and capitalization. If you guys start to get tired or frustrated or overwhelmed during this process, take a quick bathroom break. Step away from the test for a minute or two, and then dive back in. If what you're reading doesn't make sense, which could very well be, especially if you're reading an older piece, if it's something from the Restoration period, something from the Renaissance, something from the Victorian age, something that's from Romanticism, those long, lengthy sentences and that more archaic language that can start to become a little overwhelming. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, tackle it again. It usually makes a little more sense the second time you guys are reading it. And then finally, make sure if you guys are running out of time, get back to and close with your so what, and check your intro. Go back to your intro too and see if there are any broken promises. If you said you were going to talk about personification and symbolism, but all you focused on was symbolism, we'll go back there and get rid of personification. That's perfectly fine. But make sure you definitely get back to that so what, which is so important that if you've front loaded the so what, it's so easy to get back to that and to be able to rephrase that or say it in a more unique way at the end when time is ticking than it is to try and come up with a so what at the end. And make sure you guys remember this. There is nobody that is more prepared for this test than you are. I want you guys to think about the fact that we've been preparing for this all year long. There's going to be no surprises. Not only have I told you what the test was going to be like before the pandemic, but I've also been drilling into your guys' heads as to what it's going to look like as it is. You guys know it. There's no surprises. You guys have seen the videos. You guys have heard my messages. You're ready. No one knows more biblical and mythological allusions than you guys do. You've learned over 156 biblical and mythological allusions. And that's getting cut short too, because we were going to move on to literary allusions as well. You've expanded your collegiate vocabulary by about 500 plus words, which is an astounding accomplishment. You guys know 250 basic to advanced literary terms, devices. I don't think anyone's more prepared on those than we are. You guys have mastered how to write a high-end essay in 40 minutes, and you guys get 45 minutes. So this is going to feel like a luxury. And remember, you get the full 45 to write, and then there's another 5 for you guys to upload your essay. Keep in mind, too, you guys know how to write the perfect introduction. We've been working on this all year long. You know how to analyze and to so what literature at a collegiate level. You know how to properly close an essay. You guys got this. And you guys have learned to read and write and analyze and discuss and think at a level that most people don't even have the courage to explore. And you guys did it, and you guys pulled it off, and you guys did it amidst a pandemic, which is just fantastic. But most importantly, guys, keep this in mind. You are more than a student number. You are not a national or college board statistic. You are more than a GPA. You're much, much more than a test score. This test is just one part of our journey together. And when you guys do your reflection, you'll see how much we did together. And that just covers the stuff that was on the agenda. That doesn't cover all the other stuff that we've done and worked on. I want you guys to work hard. Enjoy this portion of the journey. It's game day. you'll never get an opportunity to do something like this again, and you're prepared for it. And most importantly, keep in mind that I am infinitely proud of each and every one of you. I love you guys so very much. I wish I could be in that gym with you guys and send you all off with my survival kit like I normally would, but sadly, this pandemic won't let it happen. But we're going to push through and we're going to rise like the Phoenix and do an amazing job. And know that I will be with you the entire time. You guys have been an absolute gift to me. You guys are ready. You're prepared. You have got this. And so let's go out and take it. All my love to you, all my support. Best of luck to you, my scholars.